G'day there and welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast, brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies, the perfect at-home snack for watching rugby league, or if you've left your lunch a little bit late and you've just come into the office and you raid the freezer, chuck those in the air fryer, they'll do you right. Good morning, good afternoon, actually, Chris Key.
Hello.
How are you, mate? You have been at a huge audition.
Well, it wasn't huge.
Oh.
It was actually, I wish it was huge. I wish there was a big deal about it. It was very like, it's an audition to be in an ad, and my agents decided to sign me up to start doing ad auditions.
Yeah.
Did the first one last week. That was okay. This one involved singing.
Oh, no.
Singing whilst acting.
Oh, no.
And I got there, and a lovely lady was taking the audition. And it's a really interesting process for me. Like, I'm pretty much chalking up the first 10 of these I do.
They're going to be terrible.
They're all going to be shit, but after that, I'll be used to doing them.
Oh, right.
Because right now I'm so just uncomfortable doing them. I get there and I've got the lyrics in my head and stuff, and then I didn't realize, but the lady filming me was acting alongside me, and so she would like alley-oop me for my bit. So she'd be, I'll sing this part, and then I'll do the actions, and then as soon as I do this action, you do your action.
Yeah.
And that threw me off.
So you're sitting in a room and it's just the two of you.
It's just the
and
two of us.
And she's going, 5 little speckled frogs.
That's right. And pointing at me.
Sat on a speckled look.
That's right. And so every time she did it, I was cracking up. Because I'd come in and then do my bit, but I'd have a big shit-eating grin on my face the whole time because I was just laughing at the whole premise of what we were doing.
The absurdity.
And then at the end, and we had to redo them quite a few times, which is clearly a great sign. Then at the end, walked out.
Put your clothes back on.
I put my clothes back on, toweled myself down, and walked out. And it was just like, first thing I did was message my missus, well, I'm not getting that gig. Like straight away. It was just like a shambles. So I'm deeply uncomfortable in this world. Because you've got a lot of experience in this world.
I've done a lot of these. I was on an ad to pull people. We'll talk about rugby league at some point during this podcast, by the way. Bear with us.
Yeah.
But I did, when I first moved to Auckland, my missus signed us up for an ad that we did. We got paid like 12 grand for it.
That's right.
And I remember, and it was honestly like a morning's work. We did it all in like a couple of goes.
Yeah.
And then we were driving home, and I stopped at a stop sign, and I saw this guy on the side of the road working, and I was like, "How long's he gonna have to work to make the same amount of money I did?"
That's right.
And so that was the carrot at the end of the stick, and I was like, I want to get more of these.
Yeah.
12 grand for doing bugger all. Yeah, I'll do that.
That's right. The difference is, depending on what ads you get, like for example, Ra Pomare, who works at Crowd Goes Wild, he's the dunch guy. He's dinner, lunch, dunch. And that ad has been playing on YouTube and shit for over a year. Yeah. And now every time I see Ra, I'm just like, dunch, man. And so that's, I think, what they're paying you mostly for is the fact that you are going to be plastered everywhere, whether you're like on Kmart ads or whatever you might be doing it for, in store. One of the things was like, oh, we're going to use images of you in store and shit. And I was like, oh, I kind of don't want that.
As someone who's currently in an ad singing, I pray you don't get it, because it's all, every time at that TAB ad, you might, if you've seen it, you might have missed it because we're just in the background.
Oh, it's the
singing.
4 people on the couch, right?
Yeah. I've got a hunch they go into Hunchland, and then the ACC's in the background singing. I was going for what I thought was quite a tasteful high third harmony, but upon rewatching it in every fucking ad break for the last 6 months, I missed that.
Right.
And I'm man enough to admit it.
And do you think there was a take that you did nail it and they just chose the wrong take?
I'd like to think so.
But
I reckon not.
Jace, who I do the show with, he was like, it's funny because the ones you think you nail, you don't get. And the ones he thinks, oh man, there's no way I'm getting that, he always gets callbacks for. So if they call me back for this, it'll be a miracle.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not going to happen.
No, I did a few. When I stopped doing them, I did about 10 or 20 of them, and I felt so humiliated. I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. You know, you said the humiliation would fade. Fucking didn't.
It just got weird. But you were saying the issue with yours is you did through COVID and you had to do a self-tape, and your missus had to film one.
Well, she didn't have to, but what happened was they said, can you film this audition by yourself at home, and you've got to like lose the remote down the back of the couch, you crawl into the couch, then you get transported into another universe. You got to act this all out flailing around on the couch. I said, right. You know, they're paying you tens of thousands of dollars. So I gave the phone to the missus, and I'm standing in front of the couch, and I looked at her, and I was trying to G myself up. I was like, I can't fucking do it. I can't do it.
No.
And I've been there. I was like, you know what? If I've left thousands of dollars on the table, so bad.
And this is the thing we agreed upon is if you are in this situation, it's probably a very rare situation for most people listening, but get a tripod. Don't do it with your missus because shit. Like I can't do shit like that with my missus because I love her to bits, but she'll start like giving you feedback, which is often great feedback.
Oh, right.
But then all of a sudden, like she'll be like, "Oh, maybe try again," and then all of a sudden we're doing like a whole scene, and like it's just. No. It's not worth it. It's already humiliating.
Not my missus. Silent judgment.
Oh, that's even worse. I would not do it in front of Jess. Absolutely not.
No.
God.
All right, for the three of you still listening, this is a Warriors team list
that's right.
preview for the weekend coming up. This weekend we are playing the Eels, back-to-back home games, all of them sold out as well. But before we get into the actual team that has been named, huge news today coming out that Jazz Tevaga is leaving the club, and I just wanted to address this. I addressed it on the Agenda podcast this morning. I know it's a different audience. I had nothing to do with Jazz Tevaga leaving the Warriors.
Can I also address something?
Yes.
I had nothing to do with Chanel Harris-Tavita missing that kick.
The real question for you is, did you have anything to do with Hayden Wilde getting overtaken in the last kilometre of that race?
There's a lot of
conjecture on social media last night because it was one of the all-time commentators' curses about Hayden Wilde. They said it's his gold medal to win. Now the only question for Alex Yee is, can he hold on to the silver? Nick Minute, he's overtaken.
He's a freak. Yeah,
he is a freak.
No, that wasn't me.
They were saying it was you with an English accent. But anyway, I had nothing to do with Jazz. I haven't talked to him since I asked him how his rehab was going, and
That's right, and he was like, "I'm not even injured. I've been playing."
Yeah,
and that's embarrassing for you.
The most confusing part is I commentated all of the games that he played.
That's what I was confused about.
Yeah,
and I know that you knew he wasn't injured.
Yes,
you just freaked out and went to like a panic, read a question off a piece of paper mode.
I read a question. What the other thing that's not shown in that video? There were about 20 people in that room. Only 3 of them were me, Di, and the player.
That's right.
There were about 20 other people in that room.
Like media.
Including my missus sitting in silent judgment. No, she wasn't there. But, yeah, their handlers, like their
That's
media,
right.
the Warriors media team.
Richard Becht?
No, Bechte wasn't there.
The blonde chick?
Nat Eddy, she wasn't there either.
Oh, Glenn Harris?
Glenn Harris was there.
Yes. 1 out of 3, not bad.
Great man. But just as soon as I sat down, look, we were really litigating it.
How do you feel about Jazz leaving? Because I love Jazz. He's been at the Warriors for a long time, and I think 25% of the season he comes off the bench and brings some real energy. But to be honest, I think if you're going to have like a team that's going to do some serious damage in the postseason, I don't know if he's one of those players. I just don't know.
How do I feel about Jazz Tevaga as a player? He and Bunty, he was saying, are the only 2 players in the team right now that came all the way through the age grades together. Yeah. So he is, one of the great servants of the game in the Warriors' colours.
Yes.
Might be time for him to move on for his own career.
Well, that's the thing. He'll probably go somewhere and just turn into an amazing off-the-bench player.
This is what I said this morning on the Agenda podcast. He has a chance, and this happens to Warriors players, to go somewhere else the year after they leave and then just become one of the greatest players in the National Rugby League. It happened to Ali Katoa. It happened to Isaiah Papali'i. It happened.
Chance Nickel-Klukstad did it.
Reece Walsh.
Reece Walsh did it,
was nothing before he came here. So I think it's going to depend on where he lands.
Jazz is going to be fullback for the Broncos in 2 years' time.
We're talking about, it's often lost on people. The only Dally M winner from the Warriors was Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. That same year, Jazz was the Interchange Player of the Year, my favourite award that they dish out. Basically the 6th man, the 14.
I think, absolutely. And Jazz, when he is on fire, he's excellent. He just needs discipline. His discipline comes and goes, and he's easily racked up. But if you put him under the right coach, and I don't know whether Webster is the right coach for him, but you put him under like a Wayne Bennett or someone like that, or a Bellamy, which is a pretty big ass to get in with that lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like someone like that could really get the best out of him.
Perhaps. I think it's for him, he needs to dial in how much 50 Cent he's listening to, because he said that's what he listens to if he wants to G himself up.
Oh, wow.
He
Candy
listens
Shop.
to 50 Cent, probably Many Men. And then if he listens to too much of it, that's when he said he can come on with the red mist.
Right.
And get a little bit too racked up. But that is the same thing that makes him a great player. Can, also create some of the errors. It's like a guy who hits the line hard but subsequently knocks the ball on quite a bit, which we have a few of.
Yes.
I think I'm excited to see where he ends up. I think he's going to have one of those glow-up seasons after he leaves the Warriors.
And I want that to happen. It won't be a situation where I'm like, damn, we should have held on to him. It's going to be a situation where you're like, good on you, mate. That's awesome.
He's a victim also of the bench we have if our team is at full strength. There's a lot of overlap between him and Dylan Walker.
Well, he wasn't even in this. He wasn't even, like, the first 5 games of the season, he was playing the grade below. He wasn't even Jazz was. He wasn't.
Well, he was injured for most of the season. You got to remember that.
Oh, okay. but when he wasn't injured, he wasn't even able to make the side. And I think the interesting thing around this, and the reason why I'm not too worried about these guys leaving, because there's rumors. Was it Dylan Walker might be leaving now as well?
Also, rumors Dylan Walker wants to leave at the end of the season. I think he's off contract at the end of the season anyway. Rumors are he wants to go back to Sydney.
I could be wrong on my timing on this, but these are kind of guys that were signed on and kept on by people pre-Webster.
O'Sullivan probably, yeah.
By O'Sullivan, who also signed his son-in-law and, he signed pretty much his entire extended family.
And his actual son.
And his actual son, that's right. Like and his daughter works at the club. Like he was just hooking up his family members.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge allegedly.
Yeah.
And also, chucked that at the front.
Could my dad allegedly get a job at the Warriors and sign me?
I reckon.
Yeah.
As the head of recruitment. But I like that Webster has signed on long-term, and he's obviously gone, look, I don't think these are the guys, while they're great, what I want is these type of guys. And I hope that the people that he brings in over the off-season, because there's obviously, I'm trying to wrap my head around why he names the bench with Lussick, 2 forwards, and then Leka Halasima.
Yeah, so this week it is Lussick, Tom Ali, Jazz Tevaga, and Leka Halasima. Jazz Tevaga back off a hamstring injury.
And that's the thing. Is Bunty injured, or is he just out of form?
Bunty is playing for the New South Wales Cup team.
What I think's going on is he's not seeing enough from those guys to make up the interchange, where he's seeing enough from guys like Leka Halasima, and he's gone, until you're showing me that you, like, I want the 17 best players out there, and while you might be a prop, right now you're not playing good enough. That's the only way I can justify his bench choices.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I hope that we, like, whether you agree with him or not, I think it is important to stick with one dude and let him make the decisions for an extended period of time.
Just let him. Like, have you seen on TVNZ Plus at the moment? Is that Dawn of the Dolphins?
No.
So check it out. 3 episodes. I think they're an hour long each. It's basically Wayne Bennett talking about from 2022 building the team and going, these are the guys we need. I don't care how many minutes Jesse Bromwich plays. If you get guys like Jesse Bromwich, he could be playing 30 minutes. I don't care. It's not about him on the field. It's about the guys that want to come and play with him. It's about him sitting the stand. And, like, all the stuff he says is so interesting. And now, after watching that, I'm like, maybe Webster's the same.
Yeah, that's right.
And Wayne Bennett even said, look, I would rather have 8 guys I know are the right fit for the club and 9 young fellas no one's ever heard of. I don't care. As long as they're the right fit for the club, I will run out with that team. And I think that's what Andrew Webster might sort of be doing.
Yeah, it would explain why he is sticking with some of the selections that he's making.
That's right, yeah.
Because, people are always asking me about why he's been so pig-headed with the, perceiving him as being pig-headed with the selections. Like you say, the players off the bench, the guys that he keeps picking when they may or may not be out of form. And I think it's because he's got a vision of what he wants to have the team look like.
That's right. And you do kind of have to have one guy who sits down and goes, this is how I want it to look. Right now he's still dealing with, players that have been signed on from before his time and making them all work.
Yeah.
I think we've got the bones of it there.
Yeah.
But hopefully over the off-season there's a few more people that come into play and we go, oh, okay, here we go for next year, and then we win the premiership.
100%. Well, this is how the team lines up this weekend.
Oh, yeah, we should do that.
Charles Nickel-Klokstad is back.
Yes.
He's going to be in at fullback. Dallin Watene-Zalesniak is in on the wing. Ali Leatawa and Moala Graham-Taufa are going to be your centre pairing. By the way, I don't know if I'm breaking any news here, but Adam Pompey, I saw him trying to get out of a car the other day when we went to interview those other guys. Took him a while.
He's done?
There's
groin?
Knee. It was
I don't know why I said groin. I saw his knee get injured.
I don't know why I asked Jazz Tevaga how his hamstring was.
Fuck, what are we even doing here?
Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is on the other wing. This is where it gets interesting. Sean Johnson is back, and Tamari Martin has been dropped. He has been named in jersey number 21. So people are saying that he was injured late in the game. I did see him rolling around. I don't remember if he came off, but also don't remember Jazz Tevaga playing this season, so that doesn't mean too much.
Are you suggesting that the reason it's CHT alongside Sean is because Tamari could be injured and he might be switched in, or
I think he's been dropped, but I have heard people saying that he's been injured. So
right,
do your own research on that. I just found it surprising that it would be Chanel Harris-Tavita in the 6th jersey and not Tamari Martin. Do you think Webby thinks assuming that Tamari Martin's healthy, that Chanel is a better fit alongside Sean Johnson. He wants to see it.
That must be right. He must be like Tamari, and to be honest, he's been playing his best footy when he's been directing the team around and doing Sean's role. Right?
Yeah.
Like he's been playing excellent. You'll know you've got him in your Supercoach team. You've had him ever since he started, and he's been killing it.
Yeah.
You can't then expect him to go to 5'8", you know what I mean, and then play that attacking role where maybe CHT's better at, you know?
I do know what you mean. I think it could be a combination thing. And then we could walk out of the studio and find out that he's actually been injured.
Also, New South Wales Cup, Metcalf's back.
Yes.
As early as next week, he could be back in the side.
He could well be.
So, and I don't know if I'm spoiling anything, but he came into the studio a few days ago.
Yeah.
He hopped out of the car sweet as.
Oh, yeah. No, well, we interviewed him on the... He was the one I wrote down, how's the rehab going for?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Going great, apparently. So, yeah, he's in the New South Wales
I
Cup.
asked him that as well.
How the rehab's going.
And you know, when you're asking questions and you're in like a duo or a trio,
yeah,
I'm genuinely
want
like to know, when are you back, man? How you going?
Yeah.
As soon as I ask the question, someone on my show who will remain nameless goes, "Oh, I bet you're sick of being asked that question."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Yeah, I am actually." And I was like, "I know, but you're a warrior who's been injured for months.
Yeah.
And I want our team to win. How's your fucking rehab going?"
Yeah. The reason you're sick of it is because everyone wants to know how's your rehab going.
Yeah. Otherwise,
By the way, I haven't asked you.
Once you're back, I won't ask you about it. But until you're back, how's your rehab going?
I might ask him about it once he's back.
Oh, yeah, true.
But yeah, Sean Johnson back. Chanel Harris-Tavita will be partnering him. The forward pack looks pretty stock standard. Adam Whenua-Blake, who has been killing it lately. Wade Egan, Mitch Barnett, Marata, Kirk Capewar, Dylan Walker in the 13 jersey. Freddie Lussick, Tom Ali, Jazz Tevaga, Leka Halasima. I think another thing that could be working against our dear friend Tamari Martin is you can't really put him on the bench. You know what I mean? He only covers...
Well, he's a fullback, centre.
Yeah, I know, but not many teams carry a fullback centre.
Well, we've got
reserve.
a fullback, don't we? Roger.
Yeah, but that's right.
So, yeah, you're right. And if we need cover, it's at hooker.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is where CHT can go.
And Jazz. And obviously Freddie Lussick.
But also then you're moving your pieces all around the board and screwing up everything you've practiced midway. Like, you know, it's just so hard.
It is hard. On the other side of the ledger, Gutho's back in the number 1 jersey, out the back. Jack Tangor, Will Penasini, Blaze Talangi, who is apparently leaving at the end of the season, Sean Russell, Dylan Brown, former Warrior Dejan Arce, RCG, Brendan Hands, Whittamu Greg, Sean Lane, Bryce Cartwright and Ryan Madison. The Eels floundering at the bottom of the table. They are, I think, second last at the moment.
Can I just say,
better team than they are on the table?
That forward pack.
Yeah.
RCG, Brendan Hands, I mean, he's pretty inexperienced, but Whittamu Greg's a good player. Sean Lane is excellent. Bryce Cartwright has been excellent.
Madison has the best pipes in the NRL.
Yes, and has a history of being excellent. That is such a good forward pack. That is not a second to last forward pack.
No, but they will be second to last, even if they beat us.
Yeah, that's right.
They're on 14 points. The Rabbitohs are just above them on 20.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, no, they're definitely going to be second to last. How are you feeling about this game?
I feel good. I think the Eels, I've watched a bit of the Eels, having had Dylan Brown in my team for most of this year.
Watching him knock out 50s.
Watching him knock out 50s, 60s. They just, I don't know what it is down there at Parramatta.
Yeah.
They suck. And their team on paper isn't as bad as it should be. You know what I mean? Like, there are good players in that team.
Well, they are also lacking a lot of their big names, like Jermaine Hopgood, Junior Paulo, and Moses.
Yeah.
So those are 3 huge names.
Yes.
But that's not come second to last 2 seasons after being in the grand final. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
I know.
I don't know what's going on.
So I think home game, I think the Warriors building off a win helps.
Baying for blood at Mount Smart Stadium sold out.
Baying for blood at a sold out Mount Smart Stadium.
They know they're going to be bottom of the table. The only thing they're playing for is to not be wooden spoon.
Yeah.
They're flying all the way over to here. It's cold here.
Yeah. Well, we talked to, I think, was it Marcelo Montoya was talking about when you come over to New Zealand, you get put up in a hotel in South Auckland, you drive through industrial Penrose to your training facility, then back to the ground again. You're like, fuck, Auckland sucks. Because that's all you see of it.
That's good, right? That's what we want.
I know. And so that's what they're dealing with this weekend. The weather's going to be poos.
It's going to be... that's bad for us, though.
Oh, yeah, but...
We haven't won a game in the rain since 1987.
I don't know if it's going to be raining, but I just mean at the moment in general the weather's poos.
The only time that comes back to bite us is when we want to sign these players.
Yeah,
and their whole experience is what you just described.
Well, that's what Marcelo said.
Yeah.
He's like, then I moved to Auckland. He was like, it's actually not as bad as you think it is.
Oh, thanks, Marcelo, man. That means a lot.
So, yeah, I don't know. My prediction for this game, I think we win this. I don't think we win it by a lot. I think it's going to be another messy, gutsy sort of win. But I think 2 on the trot really changes the complexion of this team. I don't think that means we're going to make the playoffs and then make a massive amount of noise. Although, I actually feel a little bit of more hope than I did for the last few weeks. When you look at the numbers, so we're on 21, we're still one of the only teams that has a bye left.
Final round.
So I'm calling that 23, which all of a sudden puts us in just behind the Dragons. So if we win this one, in my mind, we're top 8 again. Like, it's actually not as far as you think that it is.
That's right. The only thing that's making it slightly far is the 7 other teams that are in a similar position to us.
Yeah, we have a relatively easier draw than them, but the only other thing is that there are still 5 games left to go in this season.
That's right.
So 5 opportunities for us to get knocked out, and we have to win all of them to make it in. But I do think, season's not over.
It's definitely not over. Damn straight it's not over. This Friday, 8 o'clock, Mount Smart. That is prime time Warriors viewing. This is where we do our best work when we're mathematically required to do stuff.
Yeah, we're big math guys.
It should be Warriors 13 plus, but I have a feeling it's going to be closer than we think, but we will get the dub as well. That's my prediction.
I think so too. Looking down the track, so the games are all sold out. You can't get tickets to any of them. So yeah, as we said, we have got the Eels this weekend. Next weekend we are away to the Dolphins, then the Sea Eagles. Then August 23rd, we're back here against the Bulldogs, a rematch of the showdown that they won by 1 point, and you could be there. All thanks. That's a segue, by the way, Chris. You should try it on your radio show. All thanks to the Mad Traveller giving you the opportunity to see the Warriors vs Bulldogs, August 23rd. Thanks to the Mad Traveller. This includes flights, accommodation, $500 cash. Text PIE to 3236 to be in to win. All thanks to the beautiful 4 and 20 Traveller Pie.
Actually, just on pies. Yes. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, sweet.
That's a segue.
We'll be right back after this ad. Alrighty, to start the next NRL season, Chris, the Warriors and a few of their mates are going over to Las Vegas. They're going to go and play a game in front of the American crowd like they did at the start of this year. And if you want to join the ACC team for a massive rugby league weekend in March of 2025, you can text Vegas to 3236 to book your spot. These are packages. There's a couple of different packages you can buy. There's like the all-inclusive one, which, to be honest, just buy that. You don't want to be organising your own flights and things like that. There are a few spots left. I'm not going because I've got a wedding on the same weekend. So yeah.
How close are mates are you?
It's the same thing everyone asks. But it's the same thing Luke Metcalf asked me.
Are you sick of the rehab?
I'm sick of the rehab, man. Yeah, very close mates. But like I did say on the Agenda podcast this morning, the groom blew his Achilles recently, and he sent me a picture of it, of his foot in a moon boot. He said he had to mow Achilles at rugby on the weekend. I said, oh, no. Surely you won't have to move the wedding. Surely the wedding doesn't have to move back a weekend or two.
Right.
Does it? Because you wouldn't want to be in a moon boot for your wedding. It's pretty long rehab for an Achilles. So
actually, you don't want to be in a moon boot for your wedding.
God, no.
Your wife would hate that.
Oh, your photos. You can't walk out into the woods and get a photo. Yeah, look, it's... He's not going to move the wedding.
Why don't you get him on the phone on the Agenda and ask him to move the wedding? Just straight up be like, look, here's the deal. Want to go to Vegas, and I love you, but can you move your wedding?
What would it take?
Yeah, what would it take?
What do you need from me?
How many 4 and 20s would it take?
Yeah. How many Export Ultras would it take for you to move? No. Look, there's only going to be one. The Warriors will play in Las Vegas again, so...
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. And the other thing is they're going to an NBA game that's part of the package in Las Vegas.
That's all good. You don't like basketball,
It's only the only thing on my bucket list. I have nothing else on the bucket list. Nothing. I'll get my chance. Supercoach is getting quite intense, Chris. It's getting down to the pointy end. Obviously, we're running like an overall league, but on the side of every overall league, there's always a head-to-head.
That's
league.
right. Where are you on the overall league, by the way?
Allow me to just bring it up right now. I'm hovering around 90th.
Right. I'm 30th.
Still a chance to win that. I'm just trying to bring up our league so I can congratulate who's leading. I'm 88th at the... No, I'm not.
Shapes is out in front. Then Racecourse Hotels is next. Hayden. Hytro Okasini. Shout out to Hytro who's playing. He's third.
Olimheimer.
And then the Duck Rockers.
Yeah.
So that's the top 5 at the moment. So you're not 90th?
Nah, bro.
Was that your rank?
I'm 88th.
Oh, nice, bro.
Wash your mouth out. But yeah, I know a lot of people will have their own side head-to-head things as well, which once you're out of contention for the overall, which you would have known about 6 weeks ago, your attention definitely shifts. But for the run home, it's getting a bit confusing as to who to bring in. We talked last week. You have to bring in Cleary if you've got a Supercoach team.
You and I brought him in as soon as he was back.
Yeah.
So we're sweet. But if you don't have Cleary, yes, you have to bring him back in. You just have to do it.
Yes. And it's the same as Tedesco from a few weeks ago. If he has a shitter, you've just got to cop it. Don't worry.
Also, if he has a shitter, everyone's got him.
Everyone else has got him. This weekend, he did not. He had about 130 points going into the half. I think there were did he have 2 tries in the first half,
That's
2
right.
try assists, a million run meters?
Yeah.
He ended up scoring 175. If you don't have Nathan Cleary in your team right now, move heaven and earth to get him in.
You're not bringing him in to beat people. You're bringing him in to not be caned by everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just making you the same as everyone else. So if you don't have him yet, and the other thing too is, who have you got at halfback that's anywhere near as good as Cleary? Because Hines is out.
Hines is out, yeah, exactly.
So get Cleary, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, move if you have to move Walker, if you have to move Hughes, figure it out. If you need a cash-out opportunity, I think Casey McLean's still a good one. So he was the cash-out one that I was saying last week. If you brought him in, congratulations to you. 200 and I think he was 240 last week. He's up to 270. He scored 54 points.
He'll still have a negative break even, so he'll still make money.
He's still playing for the Penrith Panthers.
The only issue with him is eventually he won't.
Oh, yeah.
And so the guy I was saying, who I've actually pulled the trigger on this week, who will be playing for the rest of the season and has been playing shit lately, is Isaac Tangor.
Oh, yeah.
He's $394,000. So I cashed out Mulitalo, and now I got almost 200 back.
Yeah, Mulitalo injured now.
That's right. He's injured. He's done for a month, and I'm not keeping someone who's out for a month on my bench. Absolutely not. At the start of the season, Isaac Tangor was up to $828,000.
Yeah.
And he's more than half that now. Cleary's back. Will Tangor start playing better? I watched him at the weekend. He was fine. Defensively, he was not that great. But he is at least going to be playing in every game for the rest of the season because they don't have a bye.
Yeah. So, I don't mind that one at all. I think that, for me, the drops are the harder part.
Yes.
Than who to bring in.
This week has been the most challenging. I have undone so many trades. It's been ridiculous. So many different combos.
Are there players in your team that you want to drop? Is that what's going on?
I was going to drop Jermaine Isako this week.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last week. The Dolphins have got a really tough run, and he's just not. The ball's not going out to the right side. It's all going to Bostock.
Yeah.
However, Mulitalo goes down. Garrick's out with a head knock. They have a bye anyway.
They have a bye this week. So
in order to keep numbers, I just have to go, well, it looks like I'm keeping Isako.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I'm with you. What about Terrell May? Do you have him?
I have him, and I have been swapping him out with various players, including the one you've got written down here. Ruben Cotter.
Ruben Cotter's out.
He's got a head knock.
Ruben Cotter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's out. He would have been a great option because he's front row and back row.
Yeah.
And I've got Mitch Barnett, who is the same. And then you've got a perfectly sort of malleable team that you can switch around depending on matchups and who's got buys.
Yeah.
But because he's got a head knock, he's now out. So I've just decided I have Mitch Barnett, Terrell May, and Utuika Manu on the bench in the front row.
That's fine.
I am not touching them. There's no point.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I am binning exactly who you said. Jermaine Isako and Terrell May are both going. I'm cashing Isako out to McLean.
Yeah, nice.
And then I'm going May to Payne Haas.
Yeah.
I think that if you've already got Mitch Barnett, so there's no point in you getting Payne Haas. But I just think that's rock solid. I was lucky enough to get on Tavita Pangai Jr. at about $200,000 when he came in.
He was even one of the trades I did then undid, was still thinking about Terrell May down to Tavita, but I'm like, nah, just leave the front row.
Yeah. Also, the amount of shit I'd give you if you did that.
So Tavita's your third guy?
Tavita's my third guy.
That's a good third guy. So mine's Utuika Manu, who's fine.
Great.
He's not been playing that well
Terrible
of late.
Team.
Do you want to know who I did bring in? The reason why I freed up cash. Pappenhausen this week has got the Melbourne Storm are playing the Dragons, I believe.
Yes.
So I think Pappenhausen's going to score at least. He didn't look his normal self out there. He's still got 94 points against the Eels last weekend.
Yeah.
I think he'll get around 100 this week against the Dragons, and then I'm cashing him out to Ponga. They've got the bye. They've just had the bye. They're playing the Panthers this week. Ponga's going to drop down in cash. Pappenhausen will hopefully go up or stay the same.
Then you've got Kalen Ponga against the Tigers.
That's right. Ponga's run home is chill. I've got Marju and Gagai, a nice little Knights trio there. However, the big dog who I'm bringing in probably a week too early because his break even is massive. I have upgraded. I've had Luke Brooks the entire season.
Yep.
He has been upgraded to Cameron Munster.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Because Cameron Munster's break even is 150, but they're playing the Dragons. He could get 150.
I know. I brought Munster in. I put him out. I brought him in.
Yeah.
I shook him all about. I think Munster, if you need to fire a shot this week,
that's what I'm doing. I'm firing a shot.
That is your shot. Bring in Cam Munster.
It's that time. And I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't taking on our producer, Adam Pormana, in our head-to-head league. He's a gun.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, shit, I'm going to have to pull something out here.
Yeah, I did look at it.
Yeah.
Because I've got Tamari Martin in my team. He's been dropped. So I was like, shit, do I bring Munster in?
So the thing with it is, right, I weighed up, do I bring in Payne Haas or even the bloke from Joseph Tapine into the front row, get rid of Terrell May, and would a combination of Payne Haas and whoever I traded Muli Talor to, like just a standard winger, would that be better than a combo of Isaac Tangor and Cameron Munster? And I was like, no, I don't think it would.
Yeah.
Because Isaac Tangor, playing outside Cleary against the Dragons, he could score a try and get 70 or 80, and Munster could light it up even though his groin is shot to bits. So I'm just like, stuff it, let's go for gold. Let's leave it all out there like Hayden Wild.
Yeah, 100%. Hayden Wild fired shots last night.
That's right. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'll probably fall short at the end as well.
So, yeah, I think to recap all of it, and obviously I don't think we should stop down and talk about it too long. Nathan Cleary is your captain.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But that's the good thing is you can just have fun with your vice captain.
Val Holmes is playing the
tonight.
Thursday night game.
Yeah, he's playing tonight against the Tigers.
Something like that, yeah.
Absolutely. So he'll kick 1 million goals.
Yeah, he is playing against the Tigers tonight. So that is your VC loop if you're that way inclined.
Yep.
And I think just to recap, if you want to fire a shot,
bring in Munster.
Yeah,
he'll be cheaper next week probably, but who cares? I don't care about waiting a week to save money. It's the end of the season.
That's right. Other than that, just fix your team as you need to. And Casey McLean is still your cash out option if you need to.
Do you know who else is back this week?
Who?
Joey Skarks.
Yes.
622,000.
That's not bad. I do feel like if you're bringing him in, it's almost a luxury trade. So if you're bringing him in, it's because you're either dropping Garrick.
Or what about Muli Talor?
Yeah, but Muli Talor's only he's under 500.
No, he was 500 and something.
Yeah,
he was like
right.
570 something. But
you
need about 50 grand extra to get Joey Manu. And I was trying to figure out a way to get Munster, Manu, and Ponga. And mathematically, I could not make it happen.
Yeah. That was the other thing that I should have said about my trade. So Terrell May and Asako out. I'm bringing in Payne Haas and Casey McLean. I'm also making $269,000.
Who are you going to drop that stack on?
Angus Crichton after their bye.
Yeah, nice. So round 23 or something maybe? I
think next weekend's their bye, then the round after that. Yeah. Then I'm going to bring him in. Or just a bit of a rainy day slush fund, which is a luxury to have at this time of the season.
Would you ever just go massive and upgrade someone to like a Jacob Carraz or, you know what I mean?
I spent a good long while looking at Jaden Campbell as the shot that I wanted to fire.
He is so scucky. He could score, and he scored 100 at the weekend.
He did.
Is that
like $800,000? So I couldn't justify it.
He was 400 at the beginning of the season and 5'8".
Yeah,
which would have been great.
I know, but he missed a lot of games as well.
Yeah.
But anywho, all right, that's your Supercoach wrap. Just quickly, the 424-pack prize pack is still going. And each month, the Mad Monday team have 4 tickets to Warriors and 420 pie vouchers to give away as well. To enter, just text the monthly keyword to 3236. I'm just a little bit worried that it's a new month right now, Chris. I don't know if you realise. Pinch and a punch. It's August.
Oh, 1st of August.
So last month's promo word was spit. It's still spit this month. That one slipped through to the keeper. So text spit to 3236. 4 tickets to the Warriors and 420 pie vouchers as well. We're going to take one more quick break, and we come back, we'll give you our hunch for this weekend. All right, just before we place our hunch, Chris, which we will do live and in the flesh, a little on-air brainstorm, a bit of audio has been sent to me from the producers of the Jono and Ben show on The Hits. So obviously you'll know who Jono and Ben are. If you're
Hone and Penny.
Yeah, Ben's done a few commentaries with us as well here at the ACC. And they were talking about me, and it's not rugby league necessarily, but it is sort of fantasy adjacent. They were talking about a fantasy basketball league that I set up at the start of the year. Do you remember we used to do the basketball podcast here at the ACC?
The Benchwarmers with Ben, Pants Man.
That's right. And so while that was going, we set up a fantasy league.
Yeah.
And this is them talking about it on their show this morning.
a group that Manaia, who works for the alternate commentary here at the radio station, he set up a wonderful NBA basketball group, like a fantasy team group.
Yeah.
Hey, and you pick your players and you have to manage them throughout the season.
Yeah. I was part of it as well. Yeah.
You were part of it as well. And I knew when I signed up to it, I could see the look in your eyes. You're like, he's got no follow through. You had set your internal timer as to how long it was until I checked out.
Yeah.
And I haven't been. There's been not much activity for me on that group.
No, you were quite good to play against because you did nothing all season. Your players were out or injured or whatever. You were like, was the worst. So you had an easy win every time you'd come up against you because you didn't change it once.
No, I bought a guy who was actually stood down for 4 months for gun-related issues. So he couldn't even play.
Do you want to know the real story here? I don't know, Manaia might not like me saying this. When he came in and he said afterwards, he's like, I was just meant to talk to me about it. But you were like, yeah, mate, I'll play. And he was
as a package.
Okay. And he was like, okay, all good.
Oh my God, that's so awkward, Jono.
And I said, sign me up, mate.
Sign me up. And then he was like, he did nothing all season. Like, he didn't even try. It was like, what? He just took up space. It was like, didn't even once.
And players took up, well, I apologise to
I didn't want you to play.
I mean, great. It's not great. Jono's into this, and then it clearly wasn't.
Yeah, no, you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You knew. I don't think it lasted 2 weeks.
No,
I was involved in the pre-season banter. Oh, coming for you guys. Oh, look at what I've got. I did well at that. And yes, I got kicked out of that group.
Yeah.
So that is their side of the story. They're almost bang on. I did go in to just ask Ben if he wanted to be in the fantasy league, and I walked in, and Jono goes, I think I saw in Jono's eyes, he thought I was looking to make up numbers.
That's right.
So
he's such a nice guy.
That out of the kindness of his heart, he goes, geez, Manaia needs another guy in his fantasy league. I'll do it. And I saw that. I was like, oh. And as soon as I walked out, I think I came and talked to you. And I was like, I hope he's not just doing it as a favour because we don't need an extra player.
So out of the kindness of his heart, he ruined our entire basketball league.
Because we had an odd number of players. I had to go and find another person who had never played fantasy before, so we had 2 of them in there.
And there's nothing worse than you want a particular player, and you're like, I wonder who's got them. Oh, it's Jono. He's not even going to check.
Yeah.
And you can't even trade with him.
No.
Right.
That is exactly what happened.
God, that was so frustrating. Jono, lovely guy, and means well, but he wrecked our league.
He single-handedly destroyed our fantasy league and won't be getting the invite again this week. Play this clip on your show, Jono. But I just thought anybody that's in a fantasy league, which most of you listen to this podcast, will have been able to appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Bringing someone in who didn't want to be there. All right, it is time to put our hunch on for this week. Each week we get a $100 bonus bet thanks to the TAB to put on whichever we would like. We can do it live and in the flesh because I've got my laptop in front of me here. Chris, not too much value in the head-to-head market. The Warriors $1.22 over Parramatta.
It's a good value, $4.25 for Parramatta to win.
Yeah, a little happiness insurance.
They call it the holiday maker, this kind of game.
Why is that?
Which is when basically if we lose this game, it's holidays for us.
Yeah, wow. I mean, the Parramatta Eels are on holiday.
They're already on holiday, you know?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not going to bet. I do have a positive feeling about the Warriors this week. There is no point going head-to-head. I feel like it could be a high-scoring affair unless it's wet.
Yeah.
And let me just check my Apple iPhone weather. Oh, no, it's just cloudy tomorrow.
Okay.
So, it's great. That's good because I'm supposed to be going fishing during the day and Mount Smart won't have a wet surface.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go. Let's definitely go some anytime try scorers. What have you got in mind?
Well, I've found a hunch. You know, I'm big on my omenry.
Absolutely, and I've got one as well.
You've got an omen? Okay. I've looked through the power play options, and this one's not paying a lot, so I'm not too jazzed up about it. Excuse the pun. The second highest top power play is any two. This is what we got on last week, one of these similar sorts of bets. Any two of Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck to score a try.
Wait, what? How is that good for you, though?
Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. It makes no sense. It's clearly a typo, and that's my hunch.
But
there's a huge omen. The betting gods would not have put that in the power play. They wouldn't have let that through whoever checks.
But mathematically, you're shortchanging yourself because you'd be better to have 3 players than 2.
That's why I'm saying.
But the omen, wait, what is that paying?
$1.55.
That is the shittest hunch I've ever heard.
You don't think a spelling mistake making it through the gatekeepers at the TAB is a hunch?
Yeah, I suppose. I've got a hunch for you. This is a big omen as well.
Well, here's one for you. Why don't we multi these together and this can be our hunch for this week?
All right, well, my multi's already paying $159.24.
Oh, okay.
But go.
$159?
My multi is...
Do you mean after you've put a bet? You don't mean that those aren't the odds it's paying?
That's the odds it's paying. It's a 3-leg multi, and the odds are $159.24.
Okay.
The 3 blokes all rumoured this week to be leaving. Jazz Tevaga, Dylan Walker, Blaze Talangi.
Oh, yeah.
To score a try.
Yep.
Don't put ours on it.
No, I'm going to.
But that's going to bring in, like...
We can't. You've already said it. If I don't put the bet on and it happens across the weekend, we're going to be furious.
So if you 159 times $100, that is $15,900. You give 100 back because it was a bonus bet.
Yep.
$15,800. That's not going to come in. Or is it?
Well...
Or classic punting. But what if it does?
But what if it does? Would you throw Aiden Fanua Blake in there because he's definitely leaving?
Nah, just the 3 from this week.
Okay, 3 from this week. Blaze Talangi, add to bet slip. We're going to scroll down until we find our dear friends, remind me of their names, Dylan Walker.
And Jazz
Tevaga. So we're betting on a bench player, an out-of-position lock, and a centre on the second shittest team.
Can I just put it out there that I was just shooting the shit with that. I've got $1 on that. That's it.
Are the cameras running? The cameras are running. We're going to put our game day hunch on that.
All right. Blaze Talangi, I'm confident. And I actually am confident that either Jazz or Dylan will score a try as well.
Okay. Okay. Estimated return, $15,824, and we will be paying that out to you. All right. Don't follow that in, by the way. Do not follow that one in. Just watch it. Just watch along.
Yeah.
And your win will be when that pays out. We will be passing on the winnings to you.
You don't need to put your money on it.
You've risked nothing.
The excitement's coming from this.
Because don't come to us on Monday and be like, oh, Chris said that.
No, shit. Never do that. Never listen to anything I say.
Don't put the house on it. All right. We need to knock this one on the head before we lose this company any more money. Thank you very much for joining us, Chris. Enjoy your weekend. Oh, and have a great call on Friday night as well.
That's right. Tomorrow night, myself and Di Henwood back at Mount Smart calling the game. So if you see us around, say hello. Don't say anything about the commentary curse. Cheers.
All right. We'll see you guys on Monday for another episode of the Mad Monday podcast.
An Australia without rugby league is not Australia.